the day I found out I was pregnant. I wanted to share the good news with my husband, but instead, I witnessed his junior from college, holding a bouquet of flowers, propose to him. Everyone held their breath for me, but I wasn't worried at all. Not only had I saved his life, but he also loved me to the bone. Having rejected his parents' arranged marriage proposals countless times for my sake, I was confident he would choose me again, as he always had. I was about to go in and clear out the competition, but then I saw my husband not only accept the bouquet but also let her put a wedding ring on his finger. Jeers and taunts erupted around them. "You've finally seen the light. Only a wealthy heiress like Amelia, from a family of equal standing, can help your career and take your family to the next level. That girl selling sausages, even if she sells them for 100 lifetimes, will only ever be a burden to you. Caleb, you should have dumped that sausage girl a long time ago. You can't even cover up that heavy smell of cumin on her with a gallon of perfume." The crowd roared with laughter, but my husband remained silent, as if he agreed with every word. I used to believe that love could conquer all, but if even love was gone, then I didn't want this husband anymore. I took out my phone and called his mother. "Give me 100 million, and I promise you, I'll leave your son." Afraid I would change my mind, Caleb's mother immediately arranged to meet me with her lawyer, placing a bank card and a set of divorce papers in front of me. "Sign, and this 100 million is yours. Don't pester my son anymore. You're from two different worlds." The last time she had pushed divorce papers in front of me, Caleb had refused to sign, even after kneeling in the ancestral hall and being beaten with a rod. It was only after he had been on a hunger strike for 3 days, and she was on the verge of fainting from worry, that she had relented and never mentioned it again. But now, the divorce papers in front of me were already signed by Caleb himself. I thought of how they had looked together, a perfect match, and then I looked down at myself, a cheap tee, shirt and pants, the lingering smell of cooking oil, rough hands, a sallow complexion. Their mockery was not without reason. In our 5 years of marriage, I had never been accepted by his family. I was forbidden from spending a single penny of their money. I still lived in the same remote neighborhood, still worked at my food stall, exposed to the elements. His mother had tried to pay me off more than once, but Caleb had always begged me. "Elara, I can't live without you. Please, just wait for me. I promise I'll give you a good life." But the good life never came. Instead, I had stumbled upon him accepting another woman's proposal. 5 years of faith crumbled in that single moment. His mother was right. I shouldn't have let myself be so worn down. I should take the money and fly away, live my own life. With a newfound clarity, I signed my name. Seeing me signed so readily, his mother was overjoyed. "My son may not see it, but as a woman, I understand you completely. You saved his life, but you probably knew who he was all along, just waiting for your chance to climb the social ladder. My poor, foolish son, thinking a gold digger like you was his true love." Since I was no longer planning on being with Caleb, I had no intention of tolerating his mother's insults either. I smiled and sipped my coffee. "You're too kind, Mrs. Vance. If it weren't for me, your son would be dead." "What? Is your son's life not worth this price?" Caleb's background was noble, but his past was dramatic. He had been lost as a child and taken in by a foster father who abused him daily. Others also used him as a punching bag. One summer, a group of teenagers held him underwater. When he stopped moving, they ran away in fear. It was I, a strong swimmer, who had pulled him out, performed CPR, and saved his life. Later, when he wanted to study and get away, his foster father had almost beaten him to death, and in the process, had revealed that he was not his biological son. It was I who had called the police, saved him from his foster father's abuse, and testified against him, sending him to prison. And it was I who had given up my own chance at an education, selling sausages to support him through college and graduate school, which was how his biological parents had found him. But the Vance family had never acknowledged my sacrifice. They treated me like a plague, and Caleb, who had promised to persuade his parents to accept me, had only managed to make things worse. Perhaps he too wanted to be free of this burden, but he was bound by the debt of gratitude and couldn't bring himself to do it. In that case, let the money settle the score. We would owe each other nothing. My first time talking back to her, and his mother was furious. She slammed the table. "Mr. Right, when can the divorce be finalized? I can't stand the sight of her for another second." I took the card and left with a smile. "The feeling is mutual. I don't want to see any of you ever again." Ignoring his fuming mother, I walked out of the coffee shop with a light heart, thinking about my future. I had given up my own education to support him. Now, with money, I could finally pursue my own dreams. I researched several prestigious universities abroad and was looking through their requirements on my way home. The old building had no elevator, and the hallway lights were broken. I turned on my phone's flashlight and made my way up the stairs in the dim light. I saw Caleb ahead, fixing the light. His pristine, custom-made white shirt was soaked with sweat. The dim yellow light shone on him. He looked up at me with a raised eyebrow. The light was broken. "Why didn't you tell me?" I replied calmly. "I told you many times. You always said you were busy with work and would get to it next time." Caleb was taken aback. His accusatory tone vanished, replaced by guilt. "I'm sorry, Elara. I have so much on my plate. I forgot. Next time, if it's urgent, you can just remind me." "There won't be a next time." I shook my head, about to tell him we were getting a divorce. The door to our apartment suddenly opened. Amelia's head popped out, a mischievous look on her face. "Oh, Elara's back. I wanted to experience the life of the poor, so Caleb brought me here. You don't mind, do you?" Before I could speak, Caleb, annoyed, answered for me. "All right, you've experienced it. Now get out. Elara is very understanding, not like you, so clumsy and immature." The familiar scene replayed itself. The first time I had found them alone, Amelia had asked, with a hint of challenge in her voice, if I minded, and Caleb, just like today, had answered for me. "Do you think everyone is as slow as you? My wife is very smart. She can see we're just discussing academics. You don't need to explain." He always put me on a pedestal, making it difficult for me to get angry, but this time, I didn't indulge them. "I do mind. Both of you, get out." Caleb was stunned. Amelia, on the other hand, put on a hurt expression and started pulling beautiful dresses out of a bag. "Elara, don't be angry. I brought you presents. I saw you wearing those cheap shirts every day, so I brought you some of my dresses that I've only worn once. Don't be shy. Caleb bought them for me, so in a way, they're returning to their rightful owner. They're worth several million. You know." Caleb's brow furrowed. He shoved the clothes back into Amelia's arms. "Elara wears cheap clothes because she's frugal, and she works at a food stall. Any nice clothes would just get ruined by the grease. Not everyone is like you, idle all day, either traveling or shopping. My Elara is not like that. Take your rags and get out." He used to say things like that, and I thought he was protecting me, but now, looking at it from the outside, I realized he just thought I wasn't worthy of nice things. Listening to them bicker, I grew annoyed. "Both of you, get out." I locked the door and ignored Caleb's pounding and pleading. "Caleb, let's go. Elara's just angry. As a woman, I know better than you. You should just give her some space. When she's calmed down, you can talk to her." Caleb snorted. "It's all your fault. Don't come here again." I ignored the commotion outside. I had chosen a school and was excitedly preparing, but my phone was flooded with messages. There were endless apologies and explanations from Caleb, and provocative messages from Amelia, with a video of Caleb drinking with her. "Thanks for pushing him away. Now he can spend the whole night talking to me. It was worth it, letting you see the proposal. You should know he doesn't love you. He's just stuck with you because he owes you his life. Now that we're engaged, and our parents have approved, his mother even gave me the family heirloom bracelet, the one only for the daughter-in-law. You uncultured country bumpkin. You should just get lost and stop dreaming of things that don't belong to you." So, she had deliberately let me see it. Good. At least it helped me to completely give up. Seeing her endless boasting, I smiled and typed a reply. "Yes, I, the country bumpkin, am still more cultured than you, the one who breaks up marriages." I then blocked her, feeling a sense of liberation, and slept soundly. The only problem was that I had forgotten to turn off my alarm and was woken up early. Usually, at this time, I would be out at my food stall, earning money, but now that I had money, why should I suffer? Instead of going to work, I went shopping. No woman dislikes shopping. I had bought cheap clothes before only to save money, but in Caleb's eyes, I was only worthy of cheap clothes. Men are all the same. It's better to invest in yourself. With 100 million, I could spend as I pleased. I bought a limited edition dress worth 600,000. This brand only made one of each design, so there was no chance of running into someone with the same dress. After changing, the store even tailored it to my figure. I got my hair styled in loose waves and bought some accessories to match. They say wealth brings out a person's radiance. When I ran into Caleb and his friends, he didn't even recognize me. He was silently following Amelia, carrying her bags. As fate would have it, Amelia and I were wearing the same dress. The store lied, I thought. They said it was one of a kind, but I didn't care. I was about to go to another store when they noticed me. "Elara, you You're Elara. They were all shocked. Even Caleb was staring at me, a little dazed, but their surprise quickly turned to laughter. Amelia is a true lady, with a natural grace. You think you can become her just by copying her, a cheap imitation, and you couldn't even pick a different dress. Don't you know this one is a limited edition, the only one in the world? You're so embarrassing, wearing a knockoff. Amelia's eyes flashed with surprise, then she put on a pitiful expression. Everyone, please be quiet. Elara didn't mean any harm. 4 people from her background. As long as the clothes look good and are cheap, that's all that matters. How could she know about copyright? And the fabric looks pretty good. It must have cost a lot. Even for a fake. You should return it. If you like it, I can give you mine. Caleb's brow furrowed. He rejected Amelia's offer and looked at me with disappointment. Elara, change your clothes. I bought the Real one. Nonsense. Where would you get the money for something so expensive? Don't make me change you myself. I sneered. I have money now, because I took your mother's money and dumped you. Caleb was taken aback. Then he looked at me with even more frustration. Enough. You're just making up lies to avoid taking responsibility. If you were that greedy, you would have taken the money and left a long time ago. Don't try to fool me with that. I don't believe you. Just change out of that fake dress. If you really want one, I'll go with you to pick one out. He grabbed my arm roughly. Rip. The sleeve tore. Now, I had no choice but to change. My beautiful dress was ruined. I slapped him. Get lost. I never want to see you again. Caleb didn't flinch. He lowered his head and explained. Elara, I just don't want you to be like everyone else. In my eyes, you're unique. Bullshit. If he really cared about me, he would have believed me. I turned and walked away, ignoring his words. Caleb was about to follow me when Amelia suddenly cried out. Oh no, Caleb, the bracelet your mother gave me is gone. What am I going to do? Caleb stopped and didn't follow me. I changed my clothes, had lunch, and then sat by the river, enjoying the breeze and watching the people go by. I was in a good mood. Not long after, I got a message from his mother. The divorce is final. Get out now, and don't try to delay. I was even happier. I replied with a simple, okay, and was about to go home to get my documents when Caleb and his friend suddenly appeared before me. Amelia grabbed my hand, her eyes full of tears. Elara, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have called out your dress. If you're unhappy, you can hit me, you can scold me, but that bracelet, it's a family heirloom. If I lose it, how can I face your mother? Please, just give it back. I'll do anything you ask. I shook off her hand. Don't try to frame me. I wouldn't even touch that bracelet that's been worn by who knows how many people, let alone steal it. Caleb rubbed his temples, frustrated. That bracelet. Mom was just letting Amelia borrow it. It didn't mean anything. Even if you were unhappy, you shouldn't have stolen it. Just give it back. I looked at him strangely. Are you deaf? Or do you just not have a brain? I said I didn't steal it. Don't you understand? Someone from the crowd stepped forward and pointed at me. Just because you're loud doesn't mean you're right. I saw you steal the bracelet and throw it in the river. Caleb grabbed my arm and dragged me to the riverbank. Elara, I'm the one who spoiled you into this lawless state. It's my fault too. I'll go down and look with you. He pulled me into the water with him. The water wasn't very deep, about up to my neck, but being suddenly dragged in, I swallowed a mouthful of water. Once I had my footing, I was so angry I slapped him several times. Caleb, are you insane? I said I didn't do it, and you still dragged me in here. He didn't flinch the second time either, but he held my hand tightly, not letting me go. Amelia is a sheltered young lady. Why would she lie? Stop making excuses. We could have found it by now, under the scorching 40-degree sun. This madman was making me search for a tiny bracelet in a river. It was like looking for a needle in a haystack. I struggled to get away, but the difference in our strength was too great. I took out my waterproof phone and called the police. Hello, 911. Sorry, wrong number. Before I could finish, Caleb snatched my phone and threw it onto the bank, where it shattered. You're not leaving until we find the bracelet. He's a lunatic. I was on the verge of a breakdown. My sharp nails raked across his skin, leaving bloody scratches, but he didn't seem to feel the pain, letting me scratch and bite him, not letting go. 5 hours later, he finally found the bracelet. With a smile, he pulled me to the bank. He climbed out first and held out his hand to me, but I went around him and climbed out myself. He sighed and draped his clean jacket over my shoulders. I'll take you home. You should take a shower and change, so you don't get sick. He was about to take me home when a series of gasps came from the side. Caleb, it's not good. Amelia fainted from the heat. She's delicate. If something happens to her, you'll be responsible. You go home by yourself. I'll take her to the hospital. Caleb immediately let go of me and turned to leave. But Amelia had been in the shade the whole time. I was the one who had been in the sun. But I didn't care. I was on my way home when I collapsed. When I woke up, I was in the hospital. His mother threw the divorce certificate at my face and wailed, "Oh, heavens. Of all the times. Why did you have to get pregnant now? You're not going to change your mind, are you? Oh, my poor son. He'll never be free of you." She was crying her heart out, but I just smiled. "I'm not changing my mind. I don't want this baby. But you have to do me a small favor." His mother thought I was trying to raise the price. She was angry but resigned. "What do you want? Spit it out." "I want you to help me fake my death. And I want a new identity. I want to make sure Caleb can never bother me again." His mother's eyes lit up. She immediately started making arrangements. The moment I boarded the plane, the old apartment building I had rented was engulfed in flames that lit up half the sky. Caleb was at the hospital with Amelia, getting her checked out. Even though all the reports showed that she was perfectly healthy, she still clung to his arm, looking pitiful. "Caleb, my head hurts so much. Am I going to die?" Caleb was annoyed and his reply was dismissive. "You were in the sun for a little while. Don't be so dramatic." Amelia pouted, and her friends immediately came to her defense. "Caleb, that's a terrible thing to say. Amelia was in the sun for 5 whole hours. It's almost 40 degrees out. She's a delicate young lady. She's never had to endure something like this." Caleb raised an eyebrow. Amelia had been in the shade, sitting on a stool. Her friends had been fanning her with half a dozen small fans. Her makeup hadn't even melted. How could it be that serious? Caleb knew she was just faking it, but because of their family's business partnership, he couldn't afford to offend her, so he had been tolerating her behavior. Now, listening to her friends' complaints, he just nodded. "Fine, let's do a full body check. Whatever it costs. My family will pay." He took out his phone and opened his chat with me. He wanted to send me a message, but then he remembered he had broken my phone. He had to give up, but as he waited for Amelia's results, he was on edge. He thought, Elara must be so angry with me, but he had no choice. His parents both adored Amelia. His mother had even given her the family heirloom bracelet. If his mother found out that I had deliberately lost it, she would only dislike me more. All his previous efforts would have been for nothing. As for me, he would have to coax me slowly and make it up to me. He indulged Amelia's every whim, staying at the hospital until late at night. He was relieved when he could finally leave. He was on his way to my apartment when he saw a beautiful dress in a shop window. He thought of me, of how I had tried to copy Amelia. He sighed. Women are so jealous. He knew that I had bought the same dress as Amelia because of what she had said the day before. She had mentioned that he had bought her a dress, but they were business partners. A reasonable exchange of gifts was normal. I had never been in a management position. I didn't understand these things. And today, I had publicly provoked Amelia, even stealing her things to teach her a lesson. This version of me was a little strange to him. Perhaps it was because he had been so busy with work lately and hadn't been taking care of me. He didn't think about it anymore and went into the store and bought a beautiful dress, even though I would have no occasion to wear it. Working at my food stall, if I liked it, then he would buy it. He was on his way back to the apartment, carrying the dress, when he heard a commotion ahead. Before he could see what was happening, a little girl ran into him. She almost fell, but he caught her. The girl's parents, seeing his expensive clothes, knew he was not someone to be trifled with and quickly apologized. Caleb waved them off. He had always been a serious person, but he couldn't help but feel a little tender towards the child. She was about 7 or 8, with big eyes. He couldn't help but think that if my first pregnancy hadn't ended, their child would be this age. That year, he had been at his busiest with his studies, and he needed a lot of money for various expenses. I had worked tirelessly, managing my food stall and working as a delivery driver to earn extra money. To save money, I had even started eating only 2 meals a day, both of which were just cold buns, also that he could eat well at school and not be looked down upon. I didn't know I was pregnant then. By the time I found out, the baby was already gone. The doctor said it was due to overwork and malnutrition. That day, he had knelt by my hospital bed, crying, saying he would drop out of graduate school. He would go to work, to support our family, to support me, but I wouldn't let him. I knew how much he had suffered to get this far. I wanted to see him achieve his dreams, to become successful. Under my insistence, he had to go back to his studies, taking on part-time jobs in his spare time. Why secretly? Because I wouldn't let him. I wanted him to focus on his studies, not to be distracted by these trivial matters. Caleb had secretly vowed to himself that when he was able, he would give me a good life. And that miscarriage had taken a toll on my body. I had never gotten pregnant again. Caleb was a little disappointed, but also relieved. When he had full control of the family business, he would bring me home, find the best doctors to help me recover, and they could have another child. Seeing that Caleb wasn't angry, the child's parents awkwardly scolded her. "What are you doing? What's so interesting about a fire? And you're running around so recklessly. You bumped into this uncle. You're lucky he's a nice person and didn't make a big deal out of it. Now say thank you." The little girl, holding her bruised nose, mumbled an apology. Caleb was about to say, "It's okay," when he heard the keyword. Only then did he notice the thick smoke ahead, the commotion. It was the sound of firefighters, of people trying to escape. Caleb forgot everything else and sprinted forward. He dropped the dress he had just bought on the side of the road. By the time he arrived, the area had been cordoned off, the building engulfed in flames. He would never forget it. It was our home. Caleb was stunned. The next moment, he was desperately trying to get past the barrier, but the firefighters held him back. Caleb's eyes turned red. His usual arrogant demeanor was gone. He choked out, "My wife is still in there. I have to go find her." A firefighter sighed. "The fire is too big right now. You can't go in. You'll just be in the way. Stay in the safe zone. Don't interfere. That's the best way to help." Caleb was pushed back. He stood anxiously behind the line, unable to do anything. He looked at the time, 10 p.m. This was the time when people would be out for a walk after dinner, when the night market was at its busiest. I would usually be at my food stall at this time. Caleb wanted to go look for me, but he was afraid I was at home. He took out his phone with a trembling hand and dialed my number, the number he knew by heart, but now he kept making mistakes, because his hands were shaking. He finally managed to dial it correctly. The phone rang and rang. Caleb's heart sank from the clouds to the abyss. "Elara, just pick up the phone." He almost screamed the words, but heaven did not hear his plea. The phone remained unanswered. Just as he was about to lose hope, he remembered, maybe I wasn't ignoring him. Maybe my phone was broken. He remembered the other stall owners near my food stall and called one of them. "Auntie Lee, is Elara at her stall today?" "No, she hasn't been here for the past 2 days. I thought you were finally free and had taken her on a trip." Caleb's heart skipped a beat. While everyone was busy, he charged into the inferno. Less than 2 minutes later, he was dragged out, covered in soot, and given another scolding. But he didn't care. He kept trying to go back in, but he was held back. After the fire was extinguished, a body was carried out. Caleb stumbled over. On the person's hand, he saw a blackened wedding ring. It was inscribed with the letters EC. He had carved it himself, the initials of our names. The body was burned beyond recognition. Only the ring could identify the person. Caleb, who had already inhaled a lot of smoke, couldn't take the shock and fainted. "Elara." In his dream, he saw me walking through the flames. He desperately tried to save me, but he could only watch as I was swallowed by the fire. He screamed my name and woke up. He was in a hospital bed. The large room was empty except for his mother. There was no sign of me. "Mom, where's Elara? I want to see Elara." He threw off the covers and tried to get up. His mother sighed and took his hand. "Elara is gone. You have to be strong." "Impossible." Caleb's eyes were bloodshot. He shoved his mother away, shaking his head like a madman, refusing to accept the truth. "She's such a kind person. She's destined for a long life. How could she be dead? I don't believe it. It's all fake. I'm going to find Elara. Don't try to stop me." Seeing him in such a state, his mother sighed again and blocked his path. "The dead can't be brought back. You have to stop this. And besides, we still have to deal with the mess she left behind. All those people in the building, their homes are gone because of her." Hearing this, Caleb managed to pull himself together, but he was still confused. Elara was a victim too. What does this have to do with her? His mother sighed. "It was Elara who started the fire. She committed suicide, and because of her, everyone has suffered a great loss. This is the kind person you see. For her own selfish reasons, she has brought misery to everyone. Well, she's dead now. I won't say any more. From now on, you have to live your life well. Forget about her." Caleb trembled, staring at his mother. "Suicide? Impossible. She's such a positive person. No matter how difficult things got, she would never give up. How could she commit suicide?" "You're lying to me. You're lying." Caleb was on the verge of a breakdown. His mother was also stunned. She quickly tried to soothe him. Who knows? Maybe something happened recently that made her feel wronged, that made her lose the will to live, so she chose to end her life. Caleb was about to say it was impossible, but then he remembered something, and his face turned pale. The only thing that could have made me feel wronged recently was the incident with the bracelet. He stumbled out of the room again. His mother was worried. Son, where are you going? I'm going to find Amelia. Hearing her name, his mother stopped trying to stop him. She was actually a little happy. Good, good. Go and talk to Amelia. You've finally come to your senses. Don't be sad. Elara may be gone, but life goes on. His mother was pleased that her plan had succeeded. Meanwhile, Caleb went to find Amelia. Caleb, what a surprise. Why did you suddenly come to find me? Amelia had chosen her most beautiful dress and had put on makeup. She had clearly prepared for this. She thought he had come to ask her on a date, but instead, he grabbed her by the neck. He squeezed hard. Amelia choked, unable to breathe. Her friends, who had been smiling, were now all pale and nervous. Caleb, are you crazy? What are you doing? Let go of Amelia. Caleb was indeed crazy. His eyes were filled with a murderous rage. He roared, Amelia, I'm asking you, was the bracelet really stolen by Elara and thrown in the river? Amelia coughed, frantically hitting his arm. Caleb finally let go, allowing her to speak. She choked back sobs. Caleb, did Elara say something to you? But I'm telling the truth. If you only believe her, then there's nothing I can do. Ah. Amelia thought that if she acted pitiful, as she always had, Caleb would believe her and take her side, but the moment the words were out of her mouth, he grabbed her again. You're still lying. If you don't tell me the truth, I'll check the surveillance footage. Let's see how long you can keep this up. Seeing that Amelia was about to be strangled, someone from the crowd finally spoke up. The girl who had accused me stepped forward. I'm sorry, it was me. I stole it, and I threw it away. I just didn't like Elara copying Amelia, so I wanted to teach her a lesson. Caleb, as if possessed, walked towards the girl. A group of boys stepped in to block him. Amelia, ignoring the pain in her neck, rushed over to mediate. Caleb, it's not Sophie's fault. It's all my fault. We didn't check properly, and we made Elara look for it in the water. If you're going to blame someone, blame me. Is Elara angry? Did she say something to you? Tell her that if she has any grievances, she should direct them at me. Don't hurt my friends. They were just trying to help me. Amelia wasn't being kind. She was just protecting her own interests. If her friends were to take the fall for her, she would have no one to help her maintain her innocent persona in the future. It was an unspoken agreement between them. But Caleb, hearing this, punched the wall. Blood trickled down the wall, like a bloody tear from his heart. Elara, she committed suicide. You're right. It's not anyone else's fault. It's mine. I didn't believe her. She explained it so many times, but I didn't believe her. She must have been heartbroken. The room was silent, except for the sound of sharp intakes of breath. Amelia's eyes widened in shock. Then a flash of ecstasy crossed her face. She feigned concern. Elara, what a pity. You shouldn't be so sad. All she ever wanted was for you to be happy. You have to let her go in peace. But tears streamed down Caleb's face. Yes, her only wish was to see me happy, but I never gave her a single day of happiness. I failed her. Caleb wandered the streets, lost. His phone kept ringing. He used to never answer unknown numbers, knowing they were just spam calls. But now, he didn't dare to miss a single one, hoping it was me. After a dozen disappointing calls, he heard my name. Ms. Elara, would you like to book a prenatal appointment at our maternity center? You can come in for a free consultation. Caleb initially thought it was a scam, but then, a thought struck him. These marketing calls were targeted. They wouldn't have called me for no reason. He hung up and immediately started investigating. He found my appointment at an obstetrics and gynecology clinic. He pulled my file and found that I was 5 weeks pregnant. Before he could even feel the joy, he was overwhelmed by a greater sorrow. He and I had finally had a child, but I had taken the child with me. He held the report, his heart aching. He still didn't believe I would take my own life, especially not with our child, so he checked my autopsy report. And sure enough, he found something. The deceased showed no signs of pregnancy, and the DNA did not match mine. The deceased was not me. He finally breathed a sigh of relief. The body was a fake. I was not dead. Caleb hired dozens of people and reviewed the surveillance footage himself. He had to know where I had gone. He traced my movements from the hospital and found that I had gone to a restaurant under the Vance family's banner. A wave of panic washed over him. He immediately pulled the restaurant's surveillance footage. And there it was, me, witnessing Amelia's proposal to him, and him, accepting the bouquet. Caleb finally understood why my mood had been so off lately. I had seen everything, but Caleb wanted to tell me that it was all fake. He hadn't accepted her proposal. Amelia had been holding a crucial project hostage, and she had asked him to play along just once. He wanted to advance in his career quickly so he could protect me, so he had agreed, but he never thought I would misunderstand, and I had kept everything to myself. If only I had asked him, there wouldn't have been so many misunderstandings. Caleb was frustrated, but he was also happy to know I was alive. No matter what, as long as I was alive, that was all that mattered. Under his investigation, everything came to light. He went to his mother. "Mom, Elara's not dead, is she? You hit her." His mother's eyes flickered. She tried to deny it. "How could that be?" "Enough, Mom. I know everything." Caleb didn't want to waste any more time. He got straight to the point. "I found out you gave Elara 100 million to leave." His mother panicked. "Nonsense. She was the one who came to me." She realized she had let it slip and clammed up, but with the evidence Caleb presented, she had no choice but to tell the truth. And when Caleb learned that I had aborted our child, he felt 1,000 needles stabbing his heart. His child, gone, because of his rashness, his lack of trust. Caleb sent me a message, wanting to ask why I hadn't told him about the baby, why I had hidden everything from him. But then he thought, the root of our estrangement was the proposal. How could I have just, coincidentally, been there? This time, Caleb didn't trust anyone. After a thorough investigation, he went to find Amelia again. As she looked at him with happy eyes, he slapped her, sending her to the ground. "It was you. You deliberately let Elara see the proposal, didn't you? You were the one wearing the fake, and you led the charge in humiliating her. And the bracelet, you arranged that too, didn't you?" Amelia tried to play dumb, but Caleb didn't believe her. He turned and left. That slap was just the beginning. He would make her pay a much greater price, but now was not the time. Caleb also tried to find me, but I had a new identity. In the vast sea of people, he could no longer find me. Caleb channeled his emotions into his work and quickly took control of the company. He uncovered the illegal activities of Amelia's family, sending them all to prison and taking over their business. In 7 years, Caleb had become a prominent figure, both in and out of the business world, but his only wish was to find his former wife. On a talk show, he repeatedly explained what had happened, apologizing, admitting his mistakes. "Elara, will you come back? I was wrong. Please give me another chance." Behind him, his mother also cried and pleaded. "Elara, I'm sorry, I was wrong too. Please come back and talk to Caleb. At least give him a child. Don't let the Vance family line end." Far away, I saw the news. My heart was as still as a calm well. So what if there was another side to the story? The hurt was real. If I hadn't left, would he have ever realized his mistakes? Now, I had taken the 100 million and gone far away. I had finished my education and started my own company. It wasn't as big as the Vance family's, but my life was getting better and better. My assistant, seeing the news, sighed, "Caleb is so pitiful. Why doesn't Elara go back to see him?" I smiled, because she finally understood that investing in herself is the best investment. Living for herself is the only truth. Ignoring my assistant's strange look, I picked up my notebook and stood up. "Let's start the meeting." So what if Caleb had my picture? He would never find me. I had not only changed my name but also had plastic surgery. I was no longer the Elara who revolved around Caleb.